Some of you may look back on Odyssey and see where I built this shower. It had a fiberglass insert, and there's a picture of me cutting that sucker in half and getting it out of here and doing all the plumbing. But today's project is going to be finally doing the floor that I want in here. I have already kind of started. I've had the shower for about 18 months or so, and I never really did the floor right. See, it's just not. I've been without a shower for a long time, and I was tired of taking bird baths and stuff, so I kind of just meatballed the end of this thinking I'd get to it later. Now is later. So I've already pulled the drain out, and I'm going to get a red line laser level, and I got a heck of a curve right here. It's 3 inches. So I kind of pre-designed that to put a better floor in here one of these days, and this is what's going to be happening. So I'm going to get a laser level, and I'm going to make this. This has about 1/4 inch per foot of drop, but it's just no good. It's just not going to work. And I've known this for a while. Tilex don't help this. That's just plain silicone. That's not even grout. And so anyway, and I've got some sealer from a long time ago. I've already kind of got some of the materials to do this. I got to redo the drain a little bit, not much. I'm not pulling any of this up because underneath this is concrete because I did it. And so I got plenty of height in here. I got tons and tons of height. So I could come up 1 inch or 2 off the floor and be just fine. So this is going to remain. I'm going to seal it up and cover it up and put some, I don't know if I'm going to use dry pack. Might just go right to mortar. I don't know. I hadn't decided yet. I'm going to redo the tile on this curb. So we're going to, I'll show you what we're going to put in it. Here she is right here. I got my sponge ready to go. So this is what we're going to go for. These patches of this stuff. And I've already got the mortar and everything for it. So that's going to look pretty cool in there, I think. The other problem with this tile is it's too slick. I can, if I have a guest here or something, which is extremely rare, but if somebody was, matter of fact, I don't think I've had anybody here. I don't like people to come here. So anyway, this is, and you can tell where I put those strips in here. I tried to get it a little bit more grabby, and I don't like that. That's going to have to just, I have to scrape those up and redo and re-level this floor. So I've got some mortar and some grout, but that is going to be far in the future. So let's go and get started on that thing. I'm waiting on my HVAC guy, and I got to take Daphne's axle in. It's like the whole world's come apart. 2 weeks ago, I was telling Mick, I need that Lexus up here to work on, and I don't need that now. The whole place is falling apart. So I mentioned, let me mention this as a little side note. I went through heck with this thing. So just as a little side note, I have a Hunter fan because it's quiet and I live in this room. And that is a Harbor Breeze lamp. And there you go. See, it works pretty good. That took a long time to fit that. That was not easy to do. So if you have, don't mix up brands, but I really couldn't find what I needed to quick enough. So there's an LED light in there, and you can tell because it comes up so slow. But I turned it on last night and it's pretty bright. So don't mix up, don't cross the streams. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to do that trick of getting the foam and going around the edges once I get level. And so I can do my 1/4 inch drop again. And I'm measuring now for screeds. So I'm going to need 4 or 5 of them to work around this drain. So, and I do love this drain where it is because you don't step on it or anything. It's just out of the way. So I kind of like that being way back up at that corner. So yeah, I had to replumb this whole thing. So I'm going to need what? 4? I need 8.5, an 18.5, a 30, and a 52 screed. And this is some other stuff that I got to get to. So anyway, that's for the future. but at least, I got that measurement, so I can be doing that while the concrete is hardening I guess you can get that self-leveling compound. I'll have to see about that, but I need something that's going to cure quickly. Well, I got some fanciness here. I got one of these Design Made Simple, not a sponsor, kind of fancy drains here. We're going to see how that's going to work here in a little bit. And then, I don't know, as seen on TV or YouTube. And that's going to be that. Might do a little bit of fabricating there. So I got me a laser level, red. They said red light's better than green light. And the guy at the tool place was sort of, don't make no difference. I said, well, it does too, because you can see red outside, because Mick told me. So you know it can't be wrong. So I had to get more of that stuff. You got to buy stuff all the time. I got these tiles. I've been doing a lot of tile work lately. I figured I might as well just do some more. Don't know if I'm going to need them. But I also got 3 bags, 60-pound bags of concrete. And I got some Schluter Curdy board right there. And I'm going to try to level this thing out and see what's going on. But let me learn about this level here. And we'll see how it goes. Also not a sponsor. Okay, so here's what it looks like. It fits right down in the drain. So I've been lucky on that. So that's where we're going to start with this fancy drain. So let's go get I hadn't even started on the level. I hadn't even opened the flipping box yet. So let's go do that. But that's our start. So here we are. I have inverted the drain and made little marks right there. So I wasn't too far off in life, was I? So let's flip this thing around. Now see, it's sweeping onto, what do you flash for? Oh, it might be on. Oh, stop it. It must be too far. I don't like being in that hole. Wonder why that is. It's got to be out of the drain. Well, I saw other guys put it in the drain and it worked. There we go. So, see, I got it pretty good. I didn't do too bad, just kind of using a level and meatballing it. But we're gonna have to fill this in and get her level. So, probably won't have to probably just gonna have to taper off right there. So, what an interesting tool. Look at that thing level. I'm behind the times. I got a $2 fee for having paper statements on my bank statement. I'm going to go kicking and dragging into the 21st century, but I guess I got to go. So, all right, well, let's get the red marker and do some red marking, I guess. Won't take too long. So I'm gathering up all my tools here to see about building a buttercup here. And, oh, look at that. It's just a little bit too long. Well, let me go down and chop it off. So I'll measure it here. So, well, you know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it's like. Well, let's just go down and chop it off. Dadgummit. So there it is, as level as I can possibly get it. And I've got my drain things all figured out and sealed. And I'm going to go mix up some concrete. And I got my screed, see that wooden screed right there. And we're going to just kind of level this out best we can. And I'm not going to fill this up a whole lot, just enough to kind of make amends for previous errors. And I was thinking about this kind of drain. And I got that Schluter stuff. I think that's going to really help me to get my slopes good. I think I'm going to make that slope back there a little bit more than probably normal. It's about 5 inches from there to the tiles, and I think this is going to be a whole lot better. So, but I think screeding might even be, I thought it might be harder, but it could be easier with this kind of drain. So we'll see this 24-inch fancy drain. And just having it going all sweeping across most of the tile floor, I'm pretty okay with that. So let's go mix up a batch of concrete. Well, I hate doing that, don't you? But anyway, we're going to do it. Well, I'm about ready to go. Got my trowel. I'm not going to notch it. I guess I could notch it. Why not? You know, I'm gonna. This is going to be a level pour, and then the angle pour will be tomorrow. Okay, a good long time has passed, and that's what it looks like. It looks a whole lot better already, so I'm very happy with that. So this is going to have to set overnight. You can see I just got to the lines, and I think that's going to be fine. I'm not worried about putting any thin set there or anything. So it's going to grab just dandy. And so I've worked and worked and worked and screed and played and looked and done things, and so I feel like we're okay. I think that was just a bubble. So you could sit here and nitpick all you want to, but I'm just below the line all the way around. The right side was a little lower, the middle was a little lower, and that could just be from settling. I don't know, but I doubt it, probably. I don't know, but that ought to be great for a base for mortar. And so we're gonna just mixed up little buckets. I didn't mix up a whole bag or anything at one time, so I got some of the bag left actually. So I'll take a couple of back and get them back. Wish I would have got something without aggregate in it. Had a little fine aggregate. I didn't even think about it, but should have got something smooth like that bricks mix that you mix with sand. That stuff's real porridgey smooth, but I use that for rock work, and it's real sticky even when it's wet if you mix it right. But I think that will make my mortar bag work in here now, because that was a lot of volume. That's probably 50 pounds or more dry, and so that's going to be great. Okay, I like that better already. So we're going for this, and so let's just call it a night. That's a night. We'll see how it turned out in here. Okay. It's the next day. Let's see how this looks. Okay, oh boy, that's nice and tight. Okay, that makes me feel good. And that's just as rock solid. It's like concrete or something. So let's start fitting and marking these, and I'll show you what I'm going to do in a minute. It's finally stopped raining, so I can go out and cut tile. I can do it under the shed, but I'd rather stand outside. So let's start laying these out and cutting them to fit, and then I'll get my Schluter stuff and mark this and go at it that way. So my suggestion to you too, I might have mentioned it yesterday, but if we can get this laser level, buy a pack of Sharpies. Just makes it a lot easier to mark. I believe I'm going to try my pencil. I think that may do better than a Sharpie, because pencil, and it comes off. So I might try that too. So let's start fitting these things in here, and save all the little rocks and everything. I'm going to try my very best to make this thing. And I don't know. I haven't really seen anybody do it. I don't know if staggering these, 50-50 on up is the way to do it. I don't think so, because I'll lay some stones out. I'll lay some of them out on the floor, and we'll see what they look like. I believe that it pays to try to match these to your best ability, because some of these edges are a little bit more jagged than others. So I think it's kind of up to you. I would say get a couple extra squares of the stuff where you can kind of bust out the rocks and fit them where you need to. But a little trial and error fitting is very helpful. So this is going to be the front left. That's where I'm going to start. I have to say
that is not too terrible to deal with. It's kind of weird to cut because you have to hold each individual stone. And then I found by turning it upside down and cutting the mesh, you can cut individual stones like that. So you can see that, and then you can just put it back in there. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. And then when that piece you cut out there, that can be stones to help you fill in on the corners. So I've already got those back there. So and what's going to happen here is that this is going to be a staggering piece here, because when I cut this, it's going to come out a little further here, and then that's going to be sort of my stepping stone. And but that's the start right there, and you end up with enough extra stones to help you out. And it's not, I would say it took me 10 minutes to do that, and I didn't know what I was doing right off, but it kind of comes to you pretty quick. The learning curve is not that terrible on this, and I think that's going to just look great. So that's step one on that part anyway. So let's I was going to show you, it don't really matter, but see, when I got that piece cut out of it, and there's my razor knife, but see, you end up with all those stones right there, and those, are you inside or no, you're outside? Okay. And those are going to be great for fitting in the little corners, make it look completely professional. Even though I'm doing it, I'm not a professional at this by any stretch. And you don't have to be, you just have to be careful. So I've got this little bevy of loose stones, and there's what it looks like now. So I can come on out into the field here and just kind of lay them in. Now I'm going to have to cut this side a little bit. Maybe I'll get lucky on this end and not have to cut so much, but because it's a little narrower at this end than it is at the back of the shower. So we'll see. We'll see what it's like. But I'm saving. Let's put this here. I'm saving my strips that I'm cutting, because they may come in handy over here at the back of the shower. So there is see, there's a strip right there. So let's sit down and cut some of these open, and just lay them down. See how it goes. Okay, I got it enough to where I can piece in when I get to the point. But there's the thing. It seems like they do make lines, but I believe that I can fill those in and make those kind of go away. But overall, I got to give that like a B+. Not terrible to deal with. You got to get used to these stones having different. That looks like it's vacant there, but it's not. It's just the way I might take some of those out and just kind of. That just looks like a funky area. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'll do nothing there, but I'll have to think about it. So, it's the stone density varies. So when you run it through the saw, sometimes it just fractures and sometimes it doesn't. You just have to go a little slower, is what I would tell you. There's no going fast here. So I'm not digging that space right there in the middle. It's just something I just don't like about it. So I'm going to take a couple of those gray pieces out. It just doesn't seem to be uniform. So let's get the AccuVac out here and vacuum this up. And I moved it out all very carefully and assembled it right here. So it's time to, there it is, just waiting to go. Okay. So this is kind of hard work. So I've got to cut some more stones out. I'll show you what I mean. See, I've got a pretty good load of stones there. I've got stones, and those are those traction things that I peeled off that I talked about earlier. So I'll peel off those stones so I can have them for filler here. I've got 2 squares left. I was sort of hoping that would be true, because I don't know if I'm going to change these two inset tiles. I'm not sure about that yet. Might be just a little too much. I think I kind of like the dull nature of that. Well, comment below. Tell me what you think. So I got to get the laser level and all of that other stuff, and we'll have a bucket of love here, bucket of stones. So I've got everything off the backing, and I use the old Bosch plastic container to sort of sort them out. These are the whites that are uncut. These are the darker that are uncut, and those are the kind of those milky ones that are, well, kind of slate looking ones that are uncut. These are my darks that are uncut, and these are my that are cut, and these are my whites that are cut, and these are my darker ones that are cut. So I can fit them in around the edges or wherever I think I need them. But I just kind of just reach for a color and hope for the best. It looks, obviously you can just glance at it and know you're going to have a whole lot more of these whites here. So let's get the laser level and get going. I kind of played with the laser level stuff a little bit, but interesting stuff. That actually doesn't go like that, but it don't matter. I just sort of stuck it on there to. So apparently you can raise and lower this thing with a gear drive, or you can use your tripod that somebody might have given you for Christmas, and you put this somewhere where your target is, and you can kind of clip it on. Pretty interesting stuff, and I like this. I hope that Eddie B is not looking at this, because he might want to put a couple calculators in there. So anyway, let's get this thing and go sit on the floor. Let's vacuum it out first and get my level. Now I'm going to use the traditional 1/4 inch rise per foot. So I'm going to need my professional built tape measure too. So pretty much fun. The measurements here are irrelevant. It's the matter of drop that you have on your particular site. So this is the level line that's too high, because I can't, that thing doesn't go very low. It goes pretty low, but don't go low enough for this. And I also put a big bead of silicone around this. I don't know if I needed to. Didn't see any harm in it. So here's a stone, and you got to consider the thickness of the stone. So you get your little bullet level, and you got to consider the edges, and the bubbles like way up there. I mean, that's fine. And like I said, I probably want this a little higher than normal. So here's the level line that I have, and there's a stone. So that's pretty okay there. I'm more than okay with that. Now some of this is going to be finesse with the trowel and the screeds and all that other stuff. So but this is pretty good. You may have to work it down in and all that stuff to make sure that it's fine. But I've got plenty of drop here. And then I took this edge to here, and I'm going to start from this point and go up I've got 4 feet, so a little bit more than that, but 4 feet will end up being 1 inch back here. And so I draw an L in the middle of my lines for level. I'm going to kind of know here pretty soon anyway. So I'm just taking the measurements and cutting this, and I'm going to glue this in right now. And this will give me the screed line. But you also have to remember too that you don't want to come into this too high. Okay, so you have to kind of take that into consideration too. So I hate that the silicone's still wet, but that's just part of the deal. That's why I wear old clothes. Get your old clothes on. So this is the beginning of the hopefully pouring mortar here pretty soon. So since I've accommodated for the stone width here, I just have to remember to accommodate for the stone width here, and I'm going to come up a little bit above that, but that's going to be kind of a it's up to me with a trowel kind of a thing. I need to go get my little pointed trowel and do this thing. So these are sort of throwaway stones. I don't really, this is a color in the patchwork that I don't care for, and I can just wipe them off if I get some mortar on them. So okay, now what I'm going to do too is I'm going to measure where the first run goes, and I'm going to do one run and then another and then another. I'm going to build off that instead of trying to do the whole thing at once, and then that'll help me to keep a eye on things, as it were. So okay, let's get that glued in. Okay. With me? So you can see the remnants of my Schluter Curdy carving extravaganza here, and I think I've got her. I've got my training wheels on now. And kind of a big sweep back there, but that doesn't bother me. I don't want water leaking back there. So we're all in here, and we're ready to go. I've got to go. I guess I probably need to remeasure for screeds, because it's just good to do that now and then. Okay, so let's see what we got here. This is kind of hard to do. So it should be this right there. So we can see it's level and minus a rock a little bit more. So like I say, I can't get this thing down far enough. So let's just keep going around. That's kind of cool doing that, isn't it? Kind of fun. And it should start to hit the board about right there. I feel like a well digger, if you get my meaning. So you can see the line intersects with the foam and then goes back there in that corner, and then it goes on that back wall. And like I said, you can see that it's a little high in that corner, but that's okay with me. That's not gonna be a place I'm gonna be roaming. So, and you can tell that about right at the midpoint, I intersect with the foam again, and then that. So I have I believe well within code drop there, and like I said earlier, this is plenty of drop from here to here. And once again, you got to remember, that's why I'm leaving those stones in there. So when I put the goo in here, I'm going to be right. So that's just about the way that should be. That's about the best I could hope for. I would say it's taken me a good solid 90 minutes to do this, and just being careful and doing it right. So if you're going to do this, be ready for it to take a whole lot of time. I didn't say this, but I'm going to mix up some more concrete, and because the great thing about this board is that the little squares are a 1/4 inch more or less. I don't know what that is in metric offhand. So I could, let's just say this is the top. I can bring concrete up to about right here in there and save on all that mortar work. And I think concrete's more stable than mortar. So I'm going to, this was just sort of a feel it out kind of a thing. So I'm going to mix up some more and sort of just fill in where I think it needs it and let that dry overnight again. And I'm getting a little gamey. No, not really. I'm keeping myself clean and fit. So okay, let's go make some concrete, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is just cool. This whole idea is cool, and credit Stud Pack and the tile guy, whoever he is, tile wizard, tile somebody. I can't remember his name, but anyway, thanks guys, whoever thought of this. Good idea. Alright, that's it for today. Time for the cube sweep. That looks pretty doggone good. just kind of went with a little thicker bed there, and I believe that's just going to be just fine. I'm not going to mind stepping up here a little bit, you know, another inch or so. It's not going to be a big deal, and it just makes it totally more level. And I got my my screed here, piece of old floor from doing this floor, and I think it's going to be just dandy. So I used every bit of concrete I had, and that's fine. I don't like, you know, no use having half a bag of concrete unless you're going to use it tomorrow, because it's going to turn rock hard. So I'm liking this corner a lot better too. I'm going to be able to put a stone up under right here, and that is going to be better than it was. Some moldy bits I think are going to be going away, and that's good too. I have an idea for some other tile work, but I don't think it's gonna pan out nor be needed. So let's start again. Probably be a couple of days. This is supposed to sit for, it says 28 days, but the mortar mix says that, but this says in 72 hours you can drive on it. So I'm booked all day tomorrow, and so it'll be around 72 hours before I'm back at it. So back in, to me, it's going to be 72 hours of other projects, but for you it'll just be a second. Heard that enough times on YouTube yet? All right. I have mixed up the stuff to set tile now, so we're going to start over in that far corner, of course. So here we go. Tile's going down. It's mixed up and it's setting, you know, waited to stir it 3 minutes, wait 5 minutes, and all that other stuff. So hopefully I'll have this off the floor in about an hour or two, maybe less. Well, it did take every bit of 2 hours, but I got it mortared in there. So there it is. That's hopefully once and for all. The stuff's pretty interesting because if you can make the mortar base come up through the little piece of that fabric weave, and you kind of know you got it locked in. That's kind of a cool feeling. So I'm very happy with that. I'll be sitting in here in a day or two, or maybe less, and fitting the little tiles that make the lines go away. I hope that's going to work. So let's look at it real careful and see. You can see the lines. Hopefully I can make those fade away into the distance. We'll see. So that's just going to be piece and fit and piece and fit. Okay, but it's time for some brandy, let me tell you. I'm gonna get ready to piece in my little pieces of rock here, but I wanted to. This is relatively firm in here now after setting the stage. So let's get this thing. This thing's real sensitive about bleeping and beeping, isn't it? So let's get the mode. So there is my line at the drain, and as I turn it, you'll see it comes closer and closer to there, and there's the line at the back. Pretty good drop there, and I'm far enough down for that to be adequate. So let's go this way, and you can see my line is, it drops a little. It's a little high right there, but that's, I wanted that to kind of make it come on down quicker. So I got maybe half an inch there, nothing there, and you can see there's quite a drop there. And you can just do it like that. You can tell there's that there, and pull back some, and you can see the drop there. So that's like 1.5 inches to there. Maybe a little bit more. So that's more than I need. I can't stand on any one place too long. I don't feel it giving under my feet or anything. But I'll turn the lights on now. Wish that switch worked the other way. It doesn't. It seems not to be a natural thing for me. So let's sit down in here. And there's all my pieces. and cut pieces and white pieces, and I'm going to try to get all that stuff in order there. So like I said last night, you can see the lines. Hopefully that won't be true, and even if it is, I'll live with it. But I think I can make it look a lot better. And I got 2 more squares of this. Like I said, I'm not going to do this, but I'm probably going to take those slippy things off because they just start to look nasty. These things right here, and they're easy to get off. And so I just want to clean that, make it look better. So anyway, I don't think I'm going to save those for anything, but you might could reuse them, but they just look bad. So I can't wait to clean all this up. Well, I can wait for that too, but whatever. Let's get in and get to work. I probably sat there 90 minutes on that piece of plywood, and I think that looks a lot better. A little bit of a line here and there, but I think the grout will break that up. But I broke it up quite a bit just by putting pieces in it, so that's better. And I got that, all the gray I cut out of that corner, but I don't think that's going to be a big concern. You can actually walk in here now and it's okay, but little bits and pieces here. Get the AccuVac out later, probably later today, and grout it. Maybe I ought to wait till tomorrow, but I don't know. So everything looks a lot better. It's hard to do to make it look like that, believe it or not. A little harder than I thought. The whole job was harder than I mean, by a factor of 2 than I thought. But I think it's just going to be worth it. So there you go. Learned a lot today. The one thing I learned was that what I'm about to do is extremely dangerous because it's this stuff. Let me get this lamp on here. And there's my pizza stone. This stuff, they say, can really bite you. This is supposed to be the best stuff ever until it's not. It's like me. I'm real nice until I'm not. So what they say is you don't have to use sealant with this stuff. All in one. Everything's great. So, but if it goes wrong, it goes wrong real bad. All kinds of other things have happened. See, I've been doing stuff up here, and I'm going to put that auxiliary light over there, and then see, and it dims and brights. So I'm very happy that that's there. I'm going to rewire that fan. Those fans are, you have to go in the attic to mess with those? Oh, jeez. I was thinking of replacing it. Never mind. And I'm going to wire it so the fan and the light that goes there comes on at the same time. But this is my new lamp that I'm going to do. But it was a problem too. So I got my bucket of water. I got my sponge. I've got some paper towels. And I am going to go in. See, doesn't that looks a lot better, doesn't it? So I'm going to go in a little bit at a time. Because they say if you put too much, if you mix it too much, this mortar that I just showed you, or if it's warm, you're in trouble. It ain't warm in here. It's like 50 degrees. But I'm going to do this real gentle like, and it's all firm now. So I hope to finish this up tonight. It's been really something to do this. I may carry the stones over to here and taper them off. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I've got gallons of the sealant that I used in a spa a long time ago. So let's mix up the mortar. We're going to just do a little bit of time. I'm scared to pieces. So let's see if I can do enough to just bring us out here. And they say it's fine. It's the greatest thing there ever was unless you mess it up. And even if I mess it up, I'm not going to do anything because I'm not going to bring a jackhammer in here and change anything. But the good thing with this new light I got right there is that, you know, I can see, it helps me to clean up in here some, you know, in my niche and everything. So, okay, let's mix up a batch. Got my float ready. I got my bucket of water and sponge ready. Got my paper towels. I wanted to say this too. I feel like this is better because it's not as much as a trip hazard. It is a curb, but I've raised it up quite a bit, and it's just a little nicer. It just seems like you don't have to step over that thing. And I took off those. Oh, let me get this. Let me get this off. Ooh. Let me get these things out of here. I'm kind of tired of messing with these things. Okay, here we go. Next shot's going to be mortar, I guess. I always say that and then it ends up being something else. I always want to do something else. I don't want these falling off and causing a problem like they're doing now. But I probably got to do something there. I don't know. I've mixed up a couple of batches of it, and there it is. And like I say, it's really cool. It's funny stuff, and I remember dealing with something like this before. You put a little water in it, and you put the powder in it, the mortar, and it doesn't seem like it's going to go. It just seems clumpy and weird, and then all of a sudden, it comes to life. So it's really, really strange. It's very finicky stuff. So just be careful with it. So I'm about 40% of the way there. I'm going to let that sit there for about 8 or 10 minutes. Since it's so cold and everything else, I think I'm going to be okay. And all you got to do is you just reach down here and you can just touch that and you can see it comes off on your finger. So you know it's not too cured yet. Fun. I mean, fun and challenging. But you don't want to get too far back to where you can't reach to where you need to go. I don't even mind that look right there. But you know what I mean. You can go try to make it look a little better. That just looks like a foggy mountain. It's a long time later, and I guess it's cool enough to where I had enough time. So this is it. Like I say, I made it 40% in. About every 15 minutes I've come in and wiped it down with a sponge and the paper towels. Look how much brighter. It's hard to tell. The black tiles are now. That is really beautiful. This is hard. This is not easy, and I'm not going to be able to finish this tonight. But I'm glad that it's cold. I'm going to pull that tape out of the drain tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to take a shower in here for another day or so. So don't kiss me. So I do believe that if you handle that grout correctly, you end up with this. That's very beautiful, and you can tell. See how black that is. The black ones are, and these are still kind of dull. Because grout generally will polish the tiles or whatever. So, alright, sheesh. Good night. Some important things to say here. There's those funky little clips there, but when you tape off this drain, you better do it real carefully around the rim so you can get it out and not mortar the tape down in there. I got about 90% of it out. But here we go. I know I'm a little ahead of the game, but the other thing about masking tape is if you leave it on too long, it's real hard to get off. So I had to take it off, so I'm going to stick a rag in there. But first, we're going to do this for the very first time. And that's what we're going for right there. We're going for that look right there. Fancy. Oh, I forgot this. Can you believe it? It comes with a little basket. A tasket basket. Okay. So I guess I'll go ahead and just kind of show putting it in there. So the dealio here is that goes in there. I guess that's what that's for. I'll put it up there. Okay, we'll put it there for now. Okay, I got about 99% of the tape out of there. God, you can't even tell. I think I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. So they say you don't have to seal this stuff. I'm probably gonna get a brush and I'll do it anyway. Just because it's just, if it absorbs it, I'll know, and I'll let you know. This is a super long video, but I bet I've been on this a week. Don't worry, I'm clean. We don't have smell-o-vision here, as we used to say. That's pretty cool. It's 6:30 a.m. Still dark outside. I just got home a little bit ago, and I've been thinking about in here. And they talked about sealant on this floor, and I thought, well, say you don't need sealant. Well, I say you do, because these rocks are they're differing Mohs scale or Rockford file scales or Rockwell scale, whatever they are. Because when I cut them to fit, some crumbled and some were tougher. And some of them have fissures in them. These are just the remnants from cutting out for the drain and other things. And you can tell where they're kind of cracked and broken. Well, what I had to do was I put two in my hand like this and take a hammer and smack them and break them up so I could try to get rid of those lines that we talked about earlier. But some broke real easy, some shattered, and so forth like that. So I think these are rather permeable, I believe is the word. Water passes through them. The other thing is you got edges like this, and I'm sure the mortar gets in there and does fine, but I can't see any reason why one would not want to go ahead and give it a shot on get that light back up again. Sealing the stuff can't hurt. Can't wait. So I'm going to try to get all my wiring done today when I get some sleep, and I finish this out. But the other point to be made, I don't know, I think I talked about it, but just be careful taping your drain, no matter what drain, so you can get the tape off. But I've noticed, maybe it's me, but there's little pinholes in this stuff, and I think the sealant will help that too. My guess about the reason for the pinholes in the mortar, you gotta really work it down in there. But nobody's perfect, even if you try. So sealant will go down in those pinholes, and see, there's one right there, and just little tiny ones, but that's all it takes. And I do believe in spooks. I do believe that that sealing this will help, even though it's already got sealant built in it. This big fancy mortar stuff. I'm just gonna get quart. I've got that stuff I've had forever. It's in a 5-gallon bucket, like I think I mentioned earlier. I got like 3 gallons of it, maybe 2. Plenty for this. Only need like a quart. And I'm just gonna get a chip brush, and I'm gonna go around here once I finish the mortar work and just see how it works. So this is pro grade sealant. I mean, I use this in a swimming pool spa, and it's really the top-notch stuff, and that's what I had to use back then to keep that from leaking, and it worked. Trust me. It was a raised spa, and it was weeping through the wall and getting moldy on the wall, and I drained the spa and put this stuff on, and that was it. It never leaked again, at least not during my tenure there. So I'm going to try it here. So don't do the hammer thing in your hand, because it hurts for a while, but you know, I didn't have anything else to hammer on here. What would be best would be like a little rubber mat or something, so you won't crack anything. But that's that story. Just gotta make some coffee. Go to sleep for a while. I know that sounds weird, but coffee helps me sleep sometimes. I don't know why. It just always has. Close to the end. So gonna let her. I grouted her, and she's been wiped a bunch of times. Real lightly, real dry sponge, and I think you can tell there's a little line where it's a little lighter. But this has only been on here for 2 or 3 hours, so we're gonna hope it measures up. That's it. I'm through with grout. All the humanity, so good. And so I got the sealant on the back porch. I'm gonna do that, and then I'll do that tonight probably, and that'll be the end of this. Wrap this sucker up. That's pretty good. My final thoughts here, or almost final thoughts here. I can't recommend that you do this. This has been a real terrible thing to do. Between the tile cutting and fitting and all the other stuff, it's just really been a real super challenge to do this. And the thing that's confusing is these gray tiles. You think they're these tiles with the grout haze on them, but it's not. So I think it came out great. It's real hard. It's harder than you think. If you're just doing these kind of tiles, well, that's different. These kind of tiles are a little bit more difficult, I would say. So, but I'm very pleased. So we'll let it sit there, and we'll seal it up. I'll get the. We'll just see what it looks like sealed. Now, there is every possibility it could make it a little bit slick using the sealant, but I mean, you gotta, and they say this stuff's a sealant, but I just don't trust it. And I'm gonna go around after I get the sealant in it, go around with little tiny fine beads of silicone around the perimeter and around that drain, and that'll be it. So in 2 days, I should be able to take another shower. So that's okay. It's real cold. I ain't sweaty or nothing. "18 hours later, and she looks pretty good. She evened up, and I can just go in here and stand in here, and I can jump up and down, and it's fine. And it's good and even. Time to put the old sealant on there. All right. Let's do just hit me. Okay, it looks like this now. We'll do this again, and we'll see what it looks like after sealant. Don't worry about being slickety. It can be a little bit slicker, and you don't end up in the crawl space. Sounds good to me. There's the milky goo right there. And there's the untreated, and there's the treated or sealed. And you have to kind of wipe off each individual tile. It takes a long time. But this makes me feel a lot better because I can see where it's puddling and everything. And that's I'm just gonna let it puddle. Go ahead and puddle. I'm gonna turn the fan on, but you can see a difference, and it's better sealed. So we'll do the final shot here in a minute, but I want to do a comparison. This area right here is untreated, obviously. I mean, I can tell a big difference, and it's worth it doing this. And like I say, this is industrial stuff. I can't tell you what it is because I don't know what it is. I know that it's sealant. I know that it's industrial. I know that I used it before, but I don't know what it is. The sealing and wiping down is done. So turn the heat on, fan on a little bit, and wait 12 hours, I would say. And then I'm going to go around it with silicone. I hope this does it. I'm about tired of this. I believe we are 2 scenes away from finishing. So I got my silicone right here, my sponsor. I got my little angle cut right there. I got my mark on my angle cut, and I'm going to go around here, and I'm going to get a bunch of paper towels, and I'm going to go around the inside of the drain and the outside of this, and then later tonight there'll be a shot of me taking a shower. Not all of me, but some of me. just my feet probably. It's been more than 24 hours, so the silicone is dry. So da 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 da. Getting ready to take the shower. First shower taken here, and I don't know. I use a binder clip to hold my robe. So let's see. Oh, and then, oh, come on, baby. All right, there we go. Get ready to jump in there. Can't believe it. Da 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 da. All right, my socks are wet because I had to go outside. Okay, here we go. If I'd have known this was going to be annuity, I'd have charged $1 million. All right, so drains in place. All ready to see what happens here. This is the fancy shower that I showed before. Don't want to get my camera wet. So this will be the first time that water has hit this floor. Okay, turned it on. Let's do it this way. All right, there you go. It stays cold a little while. Well, it'll warm up. Kind of darn it. My glass block. My little oh, I feel it coming. Whoa, warm now. Woohoo! Oh, that feels nice. Oh boy, my toes are frozen. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna turn that off. Now see, I can turn those off. And that can be on, but I'll turn that off. That's draining pretty nice. Okay, well I'm going to continue taking my shower, and that's as far as we're going to go there. So I'm going to put the camera up on my glass block thing. There's Christmas lights. Oh, drive mode, not that. Alright, so give us a thumbs up. Like and subscribe. Enjoy the Christmas lights. I'm singing in the rain. I'm just singing in the rain. Oh, that feels good. Oh. My first shower, so nice. Singing in the bathtub. Da 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 da. I'm just singing in the bathtub. Woo! Oh. Da 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 da. Oh, the shower curtain thing is pretty good. Gotta kind of watch. Oh, that's even better. So the shower bottom actually hangs a little bit more inside. I like being a little bit further up with the niche and everything. Just singing in the bathtub. Oh, Get a little blast of heat there. It's about, I don't know, upper 30s outside. So that means it's like in the 40s in the house. So I'll never turn the heat on. Oh, there goes the clock. See if dinner's hot. The steak gets to me. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe. And I got a little bit of finished work to do in here. And if you stay this long, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think I mentioned it before. Oh boy, that feels nice. I love the light right there. I love it. I just love all of it. So I've got to finish this little bit right here. And I got to figure out how I'm going to come to the edge of the curve. Woo, cold out there. So I'm going to try to finish this off, make it nicer. Because I had to kind of meet all that stuff. Okay. Talk to you on the next one.